Okay, so we're starting off with an F minor 7th chord. This is our 6th chord in the key of A flat. The first chord progression goes 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. The melody is going to be the third of these chords, which is typically the top note of these voicings if you leave out the bottom E string on the A string chords, the A string shaped chords. Okay, so that's our first part of the song in the key of A flat. Now what we're doing in this arrangement is we're playing that melody note, and then we're playing the scale while holding on to that melody note. Now the scale is the A flat major scale. You can think of it all as the A flat major scale, or you can think of it as the individual modes. So for F, that would be your 6th mode since it's the 6th chord of the scale, and that would be Aeolian. B flat would be the B flat Dorian mode. E flat would be E flat Mixolydian. Then A flat would be Ionian, the major scale itself. And then D flat would be the 4th mode, Lydian. Okay, at this point we're going to shift keys. We're going to take this D flat, bump it up a half step to D, and it's going to become a minor 7, flat 5, which will be a 2-5-1 to C. But we're going to shift to C major instead of C minor. So typically, this would go to minor. We're going to shift to major. So we're going to the major 3 chord of A flat, shifting to the key of C, but only for a brief minute. Now once we're on C major, I'm going to do this little voice leading exercise. The 1 chord, the 2 chord, shifting to E flat, now this is F minor to G. That sets us up C minor. So now this next part of the song does the exact same thing as the first part, but we're now in the key of E flat. So we have the 6, there's your 2, 5, there's your 1, there's your 4 chord. Same concept. So we're just playing up and down the scale again. You have to hold those melody notes. That's the difficult part while playing up and down the scale. So once we go through all of that, again, we have the same situation. We have a minor 2-5-1 to the 3rd of E flat, but it's going to be major instead of minor. Now that sets us up for the bridge, because the bridge of this tune starts off in G major. It's a 2, 5, 1 in the key of G major. Okay, that's the part of the melody. Now I have this little voice leading. This is happening to the melody. I have this voice, going in the opposite direction of the melody. Then from there, we have some more voice leading. This is basically coming from your A minor 7th to your D7, so the 2-5, leading to G major, the 1. Once we get to the 1 chord, we're going to do the same thing that we did on C, except this time we're going to go down instead of going up. So now right here, we kind of jump down to like a little A minor or C6. Now this is setting us up for this. It's a minor 2-5-1 again to a major chord to E. Okay, so this time we were in the key of G and we're shifting to the key of E major. So E is typically the 6th chord in the key of G. So instead of going to the relative minor, which would be E minor, we're shifting it to major again. So you'll notice this song does that a lot. It takes a typical minor chord from the key, changes it to major, and sets that up as the new key. So we are briefly in the key of E major. Now we're shifting out the key again here. This sets us up. It's almost a 2-5-1 to F. Okay, I play part of the scale, which gets us back to our first part. All right, so we're back at the beginning part of the song, essentially. This is the last A section. Now, what I change here is instead of doing the typical minor chords, I turn them into dominant 7th chords. Now, since they're dominant 7th chords and they're altered dominant 7th chords, meaning they have the altered tensions such as flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13, etc., we're going to be using altered scales, okay? So what's happening there is this is coming from the altered dominant scale, okay? So the F altered scale, which is a mode of the F sharp melodic minor scale. So for each one of these chords, I'm playing the melodic minor scale up a half step. That gives you all of your altered notes. So it works really well over these altered chords. And you can use this whenever you have an altered dominant chord that resolves down a 5th or up a 4th. It's the same thing. So we do that until we get to the 4 chord, the D flat, and then we're back to typical Lydian, or this is still the A flat major scale. But then we go into the D flat melodic minor scale. So this is how the song actually goes. This chord goes from major to minor, okay, usually with a major 7th. So that's like a minor 7th chord with a major 7th. So a minor chord with a major 7th. There's the 9 on top as well. Then from there, we have some 2-5s. So I just do C, F, B, E. Then we're back at B flat minor. That's our 2 chord in the key of A flat. That's how the song typically ends, 2-5-1. At this point, I have some voice leading. This big E flat altered chord, where it's a 13 with a flat 9. Then here's another interesting one. It's an E flat major with an E on top or on the bottom. And then we resolve to our root A flat. Now at this point I have a little outro. So this is the 4 chord that I kind of turned into an altered dominant chord. And I put it over a G, which then resolves up a half step to